Hi. All right, so let's go over the Exalt case cooler. So there's already going to be people, I can tell in the comments already, that are maybe even starting to type, "Hey Greg, that's just a big lunchbox." I want to go through a lot of the stuff that's in here. There's some really cool features that separate it from other things and make it really useful. So the first one, actually, let me do this, is that it collapses completely. There's these little straps around here that flatten it up really nice, so that way it can fit into a gear bag. You're all set to go. The strap does, you can kind of tuck it away, and it's going to be out of the way. You don't have to worry about it. A cool thing is you can actually write your name in here. So it's just an added little thing. It's not really important that this is on here, and but it's just nice to have. So that way you can write your name in there, and let's say that you're mixing in with another team, you don't have to worry about losing your paint if you leave it in the case cooler. But actually opening it up here, you'll see the inside is it's all lined, so you don't have to worry about anything getting out. So you actually could rinse this out at the end of the day if you wanted to, if there's like dirt or whatever that got in there. But for the most part, this outside is also kind of waterproof. It's not going to be completely waterproof. I would say water resistant, because the zipper, you might get some water if it's really coming down that might kind of seep into there. But the idea of the case cooler is that you can put a full case in here. Every company is going to fit inside of there, so you don't have to worry about the case not fitting in here. The only one that I saw was actually from a guy that sold paint locally here, and the box that he had was a little bit bigger, but for everybody else, this is going to fit just fine. Valken, GI, Key, whoever really. I mean, this should be able to fit 99% of all the cases out there. If for some reason it doesn't, you can always just take the bags out of the case and put them in here, and you can actually hold a little bit more than a case of paint in here, because you don't have to worry about the case or the actual cardboard itself pushing everything out. So I want to say it's about a case and a half. I haven't tested that. Some of the paint that I have is all just stuff left over from World Cup, and it's in those GI Imperial purple bags, like with the little carrying handle. And those fit perfect. So you're going to at least be able to put one case in here. But the idea with this is that, let's say you go to a tournament and it's really hot out. You guys, from a previous video, I think I've gone over where the paint itself is really temperamental. So you don't want to have it where it gets too bouncy, which is going to happen if the paint warms up and the humidity and all the heat gets to it. When I was helping out the Ironmen, we had all the paint and all the pods were inside. Sorry, all the paint in the pods were all inside of this big case with ice underneath it. That way it can stay cool. You don't want it to lose the temperature from the actual trailer itself when you go to pick up the paint to when you get to your field, especially if you have to wait a little bit. So let's say that you get there and the field is delayed a little bit, and you have to wait an extra 20 minutes. That could be a deciding factor. So you don't want to have to run into that issue. So that's where this comes in. It wasn't just made just because. Like, it was made for a certain reason, and that is why. So going over some other cool features are these loops here. So if you wanted to, you could clip on some other things there. If you have a carabiner, if you want to put your keys there, whatever the case may be, you can clip those on. It's on both sides. The strap itself is adjustable. So if you wanted to put it around your shoulder, you could. If you want to just hold it like a suitcase, you can do that as well. But something else that's really cool is this back piece right here. So you see how that lip comes up? Let me turn that for you. So you see I can stick my hand through there. What this is going to do is, when you go ahead and you're wheeling your gear bag, you can actually slide the handle through here and hold on to the paint. I'm sure you guys have probably had it where you've tried to use the case. You tried to balance the case on the top of your gear bag. I'm pretty sure that I've done it before. Sometimes it works, but usually paintball fields aren't all completely flat, so you're going to run into issues of the case maybe falling off. But with this, you don't have to worry about that, and your paint is going to stay cooled. So even if you're going to be going to a practice, a lot of practice paint, you especially want to make sure that it's nice and chilled, because if it is that harder shell, you want it to be more brittle, which is going to be meaning that you have to go ahead and make sure that it is more chilled, so that way it is more brittle, if that makes sense. Once the humidity and heat gets to it, it's going to start to soften that shell a little bit, make it more bouncy. So especially at a practice, if you guys are trying to get ready for a tournament, this is going to be perfect actually at the event, because this does actually go ahead and compress down so much. You can fit into a gear bag super easy, so you don't have to worry about it taking up too much space. And since we don't always win, since it does have this lining in there, you could fill it with beer. not actually like pour it in there, but I mean, if you went and maybe you guys get knocked out of the tournament and you know, you're at an NXL event, you're not just going to drive home or whatever, you know, fill this up with some ice, put beer in there. For you guys that are underage, put some Diet Coke or whatever, and you know, just enjoy some soda or whatever while you're watching games. But unfortunately, we don't win all of them, so this is perfect as a way of being able to cope with that loss. drink a beer or two and just kind of relax and enjoy the rest of the weekend. But I hope that this review helps you guys out, that it's something that you see the usefulness of this product. It's not something that is just a money maker that Exalt was like, oh, we're just going to make this just because. No, there's actually a use to it, and I mean, I'm going to be using it. That's why I have it. So it's a really cool product. It's one that I liked when I first saw it, and I hope that you guys like it too. But as always, remember, watch, learn, win.